Welcome to the Unscripted Opinion. I am Joseph Njau. President Ruto's remarks at the National Defense College while talking about the Industrial Revolution, which has brought us prosperity. He says that while we celebrate the benefits of the Industrial Revolution, such benefits have come at a cost. Take a listen.
While we celebrate on one end that Industrial Revolution has brought prosperity and given us a chance to now believe that it is possible to have shared prosperity. But on the other hand, it has come at a cost. Pollution, loss of biodiversity, and of course the existential threat of climate change.
The president reiterated his earlier view on the need for a new industrial and economic model that provides for harmony between the environment and human beings.
In order to reverse the economic and industrial practices that are ramping up the levels of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere and threatening all life on Earth, it has become necessary to pursue a new industrial and economic model. As I told you, we had an industrial model. But I think it's now not when, but it's now the time to pursue a new industrial and economic model which brings humanity in harmony with the environment one more time. The bulk of pollution is connected with what and how is connected with the what and the how of industrial production. A net zero emissions industrial order requires both resources as well as technologies of the right kind. As matters stand, Africa remains abundant in the most critical resources of the new industrialization, while the current industrial powers are classified as scarce or overstretched in terms of the same critical resources that we need for the new industrial paradigm.
Another major point of note that the president's remarks at the National Defense College revolves around the security as a foundation for development.
Security is the foundation of development. It will be tragic on a monumental scale and historic proportion if the conflicts currently raging in various parts of the world persist, even in this moment when the entire continent is poised on the threshold of unprecedented economic transformation. War, insecurity, and conflict are the fundamental antitheses of development and human flourishing. It is important for all of us to understand the underlying drivers of these conflicts in order to enable continental, regional, and domestic institutions design and implement effective solutions. Such understanding can best be achieved when, as the subject matter experts and professionals, employ a broad, transformation-aligned, and opportunity-oriented methodologies in investigating, analyzing, and discussing these conflicts, including the sequence of interventions to address underlying developmental deficiencies that may be the causes of these conflicts.
Indeed, as noted by the president, insecurity, war, and conflict are the antithesis for development and developmental agendas for nations. While contemplating on this, another major viewpoint expressed by the president focuses on the unemployment problem of the country.
We all agree. I have never come across one Kenyan leader who does not believe that we have an unemployment problem, because we all agree that the 5 million young people in Kenya who do not have jobs deserve attention, and they need a plan on how we can get them working. All of us believe that we should grow our manufacturing sector. We should do more to promote manufacturing of our cement, manufacturing of clinker, manufacturing of steel, manufacturing of doors, manufacturing of hinges. We should be thinking about those areas. All of us agree, but nobody wants to make the bold decision on the how.
Indeed, as the government focuses on creating employment through various programs proposed and under implementation, with reference to the remarks by the President at the National Defense College, the President focused also on national security mandate as a public good.
As you perform your duties, therefore, you must always bear in mind that national security as a public good and your professional mandate call upon you to forge a strong connection between security for peace and strong national institutions which anchor the unimpeded pursuit of prosperity. It is thus in your interest to signal through your leadership respect for the rule of law, commitment to freedom and fundamental rights, concern for human dignity, and most importantly, an unwavering aspiration to live and work in a stable, democratic environment. Ideologies that imagine prosperity without enterprise and enterprise without freedom are merely grand delusions and costly experiments. These are the conditions that every nation has to have in order to take full advantage of its resources and opportunities. Without them, these endowments become burdensome sources of problems. Opportunities and resources become curses. The youth bulb actually becomes a time bomb.
Equally, while national security being a public good, of concern also as expressed in the remarks by the President, involves peace and security to foster freedom.
I wish to remind you of something that you have come across on innumerable instances as practitioners in the national security professions. I refer to the possibility of realizing and manifesting peace and security in opposing ways. In its positive expression, peace and security foster freedom, the rule of law, fundamental rights, and human dignity. That's all all of us aspire for. But negatively, it can only refer to the absence of war or conflict, but in conditions of tyranny and the suppression of liberty and human capability. And that is what dictators do. You still have a peaceful environment, but it is characterized by tyranny, by lack of freedom, no expression. Yet, it presents itself as a peaceful environment. Peace and security must also offer an opportunity for people to be their best, to pursue their aspirations, to create opportunities, to tap into chances and opportunity to be better.
While peace and security being in focus, another major viewpoint expressed by the head of state involves the role of the youth in social economic growth.
The youth have the potential to engage with opportunities in every sector of socio-economic endeavor to unleash unprecedented levels of growth and prosperity that are both inclusive but also sustainable. Since I'm casting my lot with a demographic dividend perspective, I think it will be worthwhile to explore these paths a little further down the road in order to form a decent perspective of its implications for strategic and policy imperatives. There are two pathways towards harnessing the demographic dividend presented by a young continent, which grows younger year by year. I am giving again two pathways here of what I think is the asset that we have in our demographic dividend of young people. The first pathway pursues development through interventions undertaken in installments aimed at gradual positive change and evolutionary growth yet firmly confined within the existing configuration of production possibilities. I am talking about us looking at the opportunities in the context of what happens incrementally, as it is the case now. It therefore entails conservative governance and management to minimize risk and mitigate shocks and disruptions, in conjunction with hesitant, risk-averse investment in those factors that are traditionally deemed foolproof generators of modest but stable growth.
While on the backdrop of the Gava Mkononi launch, the president further addressed the affordable housing program.
We have a raging debate in Kenya, big debate about housing. You will wonder how housing can become such a big debate in a country. And what is the context of this debate? We have 5 million young people who do not have jobs in Kenya. We have 6.5 million people in Kenya who live in informal settlements. We are trying to fashion a new paradigm of win-win. And we are proposing that those of us who are privileged to have a job should make a modest contribution so that we can create at least 1 million jobs every year, provide decent homes for the 6.5 million people who today their livelihoods are characterized by flying toilets, no water, no electricity, no roads to their homes. Give opportunity to hundreds of thousands of people in the small and micro enterprise place. People selling cement, people selling steel, the Juakali artisans making doors, those making windows, those working on supply of sand, supply of stone. That whole ecosystem, we need it working. And that's why we have a very healthy debate in Kenya. So on one end, there are those who are saying, who told the president that we need houses? But there are millions who are asking the president, when are we getting the jobs?
Thank you for joining us. This has been the Unscripted Opinion. I am Joseph Njau.
What I'm planning to do right now, as a soldier, I don't belong to a political party. I'm not a political man. I'm not willing to have a political career. So what I'm planning is very soon, it's a matter of days. It's a matter of days. First of all, my group has to be well known.